Hey, and welcome back to The Road to React, your journey to master plain yet programmatic React.js by Robin Viruch, a German, very talented German developer. And today we're going to talk about React JSX. But before we get started on React JSX, just to reiterate what we did last time. Last time we talked about React component. Everything in React is a component. Every part of your page is going to be a component, and everything is going to be incredibly modularized. So everything is going to be a module / component. Okay, with that said, let's dive into React JSX. So that is on page 14 in the book. And for that, let me pull up the app.js component. Here's our first main component that we're using in our React app. And I kind of touched on JSX last time when I did this right here, when I created this variable and I embedded it right here. This right here is JSX. What is JSX? Well, JSX is it's HTML, but combined with JavaScript. It's like the best of both worlds. It's awesome. It's together. So it's HTML, JavaScript in one. You cannot put it any simpler than that. So now you don't have to do like a script tag to do JavaScript separate from the HTML. They're both together. So just to be, so some of the things we'll go over is how JSX is different from HTML, and you'll see some of the things that are different, even when it comes to HTML related things like attributes. Okay, with that said, so like I said, this is what we did last time. We had a title constant, and we're able to embed it in the H1 right here. So whatever title stands for will now be in here. Okay, so next thing is let's do an example of something where we write HTML, but it's not exactly HTML because we have to modify it slightly in order for it to be valid JSX. So let's say we wanted to create a, and let me see if I can copy the code over so I don't have to type it out. Nope, that's not it. I'll just type it out. So we have label HTML4 equals search, and this is what Robin did in the book, right? Oh my god, I cannot type. I can't type usually, but today it's especially bad. And then we have a input with an ID, and actually it has one more attribute, namely text type with the value text, and it's self-closing. Okay, cool. So the most important thing is that some of these attributes are not, you don't use them the way you would use them in HTML. So in HTML, for example, this would not be, I believe this would be just for, I forget exactly what the HTML equivalent is, but my point is in JSX and in React, that is, some of these attributes change. One of the most famous one of the most popular attribute that you're gonna have to get used to writing differently is class. So in regular HTML, you have a class like this, right? We can give it the same name as an ID, but in JSX you can't use class because I guess it's a reserved keyword. So you have to change this to class name. So that's very important. So there's some small, so it's not always straightforward HTML that you can use in JSX. Sometimes you have to, modify it slightly. Okay, so let's just move on. So that's one thing. And then two, okay. Let's do this. Robin also has an example of a function, right? So let's say get title, and let's say it takes in an argument, title. So this is a regular function that takes in one argument, title, right? And let's just say it returns title, right? So we can actually call on a function within JSX, a JavaScript function. So again, in curly braces, it can't be outside of it. It has to be inside of it, and you just call on get title. But it's a function, so don't forget the parentheses, and it takes in an argument. So let's give it an argument, and let's give this argument, and let's just say, let's keep this casual. What's up? And, well, that doesn't work. Obviously, I can't use this single quotation mark. I have to use, or I can use a single quotation mark if we have double quotes on the outside. Okay, so this should now return what's up. So H1 should be what's up. Obviously, this doesn't make sense to do because we could have just written what's up instead of like calling it a function to do just that. But it's just to demonstrate a point. A lot of times it's just something trivial like that, something stupid like that to just demonstrate a point. Okay, so let's do npm start. Let's take a look at our page, and it's on my other screen. So let me bring it over here, and there it is, right? Okay, cool. Simple, right? I mean, this should make sense, I believe, to most of you. I mean, we could do, you might be wondering what would happen if I do this. Obviously, this is more of a general JavaScript exercise than JSX, but just in case you're curious, yeah, it just uses this title right here for the content of the H1. All right, let's see what else. What else has Robin talked about? That's pretty much it. That's really all he touched on. I'm gonna include a link in the description that I recommend you check out. I highly recommend it. It's just a link to a lot of the links that he shares are the official React from the official React documentation page, which is actually really, really good, honestly. And I don't usually say that about official documentation. I usually hate them. I usually avoid them like the plague, or COVID in this case. So here is the official documentation for JSX, introduction to JSX, and go through that. I did it myself. It's very interesting. I don't know, I guess if you find this stuff interesting. Let me see if there's anything unique here that maybe I need to just touch on. Yeah, so I guess this part right here was kind of interesting. Like, you can have JavaScript and then you can actually return JSX. So this part was a little bit confusing to me, but what they're trying to say is you can return a whole JSX just like this. So because this is JSX right here. I know it looks like HTML, but it's technically JSX. So you can do that, which is kind of cool. So just keep that in mind. What else? Oh yeah, definitely important. Let me just demonstrate one more example. So here, let's say we wanted to do title, right? Well, actually, you know what? That's not a good example. Let's do this ID. And so if we let's say we assigned an ID to title, the H1 tag, which holds the title, and we give it an ID value of title. But let's say we have a constant title ID, and let's set this to header title. So let's say I wanted to use this title ID, right? So you don't do this. That's very important. You don't do title ID. You don't need the quotes anymore. Just the curly braces is good enough. So no quotes on the outside and no quotes on the inside. So just that, and this will in itself be a string. It will be equivalent to this. So I thought that was important. I have run into issues where I wasn't sure where the quotes go, if we need quotes or not. What else? You can have you can set like a whole element. JSX element like so. So the most important part here is the parentheses. So we say element, and then parentheses, and then whatever JSX you would like to include. Okay. What else? And then we could obviously do things like, I wonder. So if we wanted to show it, I wonder if we can just do this. So this should say, "Hello, good to see you," if I understood it correctly. So I'm learning with you guys as I do these. So yeah, there it is. This is what I suspected it would be, and yeah, this is what it turned out to be. Okay, what else? I think that is pretty much it, but let me double check. Something about JSX is very smart at preventing injection attacks, which is great. And then there's something like this part right here is, I'm sure it's important, but it's not important if you're a new developer. So I wouldn't stress this part, the last part, too much. Okay, we recommend using the Babel language definition for your editor of choice so that both ES6 and JSX code is properly highlighted. I wonder if I did that. I have JavaScript selected. So let me see what. Actually, I've never done this. I wonder if I can select Babel. I don't have a Babel language pack, so I'll probably need to download that. But I'm definitely going to try that out, because this might be a good recommendation. All right, this is it. I hope you're following along, and I would love for you guys to subscribe and to spread the word. So that would be really, really awesome, and I would appreciate it. I'm here to help you guys. All I ask in return is that you do your best to learn for your own sake, and that you maybe help me spread the word so more people can benefit from these videos, hopefully. All right, guys, take care. Till next time. Bye.